From 1956, we're now looking at Rodan. Rodan the Flying Monster. Rodan is a giant prehistoric pterodactyl. He can fly at supersonic speed. And you do get a Rodan, plus none of that, you get another Rodan as well in this film. It's an interesting one. This is my 2004 Godzilla Final Wars Rodan, not from this film, this design anyway. But this came out in Region 1 DVD, and it also came out on another Region 1 DVD release with War of the Gargantuous in a double feature. Back to this anyway. Rodan is a great film from 1956. It was the first Toho colour kaiju film, I believe, from 1956, and didn't get released till 2 years later in America in 1958. It starts off with there's a giant mining industry place underground, and there are giant bugs down there and they're attacking the miners, trying to devour them with these caterpillar-like creatures. Well, they're the shape of caterpillars, but they're gigantic. They're human size, and they're trying to get hold of the Japanese miners. This film was directed by Ishiro Honda, produced by Tomioka Tanaka, and basically in the mining underground, we get to see a survivor, and he tells us in a prehistoric egg, which Rodan had just from. It's crazy. It's taking itself seriously, but it is from the 50s, so it's going to be part of that giant radiation monster rampage sort of thing. But not only that, there's, like I said before, there's 2 Rodans. 2 Rodans are on the loose. They're flying, terrorising over Tokyo, Japan, and it's up to military jets to try and stop them, to no avail. But the conclusion comes at the end of this film, when the 2 Rodans are trapped underneath a lava volcano. What will happen? Will they survive? Who knows? We'll have to watch Rodan. Great film. It's one of the early kaiju films from Toho again, following Godzilla. Rodan would go on to be an ally / enemy in Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster from 1964. A Godzilla film. Rodan's quite a popular character. Like I said, he flies at supersonic speeds. He's a pterodactyl basically, but a mutated one. And in Rodan, with them being more than one, it provides a threat to Japan in general, with the supersonic speeds that they fly, going over cities, destroying them, and leaving Japan in moral panic, basically. A bit like Gojira 1954. This one's doesn't really have a nuclear message or anything like that, but it is on the borderline of like the prehistoric creatures, kaijus, nature fighting back sort of thing, against the world. I suggest you do check out Rodan because it is a pinnacle film, and the reason being is because, like I said, it is a standalone film in the kaiju series away from Godzilla. Mothra would also get her own film in 1961 as well, but we'll talk about Mothra another time. Rodan, kaiju, giant pterodactyls flying through the air, miners being eaten by creatures that have parasites which the Rodans actually eat themselves. It's a great film. I say do check out Rodan. Hi Kaiju fans, the other day over Christmas period I watched Mothra, aka the English title Mothra from 1961. This came out on Region 2 DVD from Columbia TriStar, and very thankful it did because it comes with some extra features, the English version, the Japanese version, as well as a 24-page booklet as well. Looks very nice. There's some notes in there, some posters, some artwork, some pictures from the film, some stills from the film, some publicity stuff. Let's get right on reviewing Mothra. There's a mysterious storm like there normally is in the ocean. A boat goes missing and it ends up crashing onto a mysterious radioactive infested island. This island is full of all kinds of mutated kind of plant life, that sort of thing, and it's up to the authorities to try and explore the island. They do it with a reporter and they all sneak on board this island where they find two twin fairies, the Itu sisters, who have sadly passed on now. And they take them off the island, the crooked businessmen do, and decide to take them back to Japan to try and exploit them and do all kinds of things to them, and like in the lines of like making money off of them because they're a freak of nature, because they're the two twin fairies which are about a foot high or so, and they're taken away. But no, nobody's having this, not on the island, not the good guys either. Because they talk to the girls when they do talk, and they're singing for Mothra. Mothra hatches out of an egg in a larval form and decides to come to Japan, and the warnings have been foretold that he should not have taken the girls in the first place by the crooked businessmen, and so the chaos assumes. What happens is Mothra in larval form comes to Tokyo, Japan, and starts wrecking the place. And the tanks are trying to stop it. They have been warned about all this, but this is a message for the environment not to mess with it, basically. Not to mess with Mother Nature, like they did with the nuclear testing, like in the original Godzilla film. And so Mothra attacks Japan. Mothra also goes into a form in this film where she cocoons herself, and these tanks are kind of these tanks with rays on them are kind of employed to try and stop it, try to destroy the egg so everybody is safe in Japan. So everybody's instructed to wear these glasses so nobody can look at the beam while they're trying to destroy this egg that Mothra's gone back into and cocooned herself into. Mothra does hatch at the end of the film, towards the end of the film, and it's a colourful adventure, and Mothra basically gets her two fairies back, and it's a happy ending. But you know, the bad guys have to learn the lesson in this. Don't mess with Mother Nature, because Mother Nature will bite back. In this case, in the form of Mothra, a giant moth. It's a colourful adventure. Fantastic, touchingly bizarre, said the New York Times. Yeah, it is quite a cool little film, this, and it kind of starts off like the Mothra adventures, because Mothra would also go on to face Godzilla in 1964, some years later, in a Godzilla film crossover. And the crossovers were quite infamous quite at this time, and especially, you know, you had your Frankenstein versus the Wolfman sort of thing, but you're getting your Godzillas, your King Kongs, as in God, and then you got your Godzilla versus the Mothra and stuff like that. Crossovers,
it's all recycled. Everyone's complaining about them these days, but they had them back in those days as well. So people still praise those films, the older films at least, because that's what they grew up on in their childhood. Special effects were quite good in this film, I thought. The music was quite good as well. Ishiro Honda directs this film. Colourful adventure. Very upbeat, especially towards the end and everything. It is kind of like a family film, like a children's film sort of thing. Even though it was probably marketed as like an X in the day sort of thing, the X certificate sort of thing. And Mothra, parental guidance, ravishing a universe for love. It's a peaceful animal, a peaceful kaiju. A kaiju flying monster, basically, because this followed the likes of Rodan and the Mysterions, the solo monster films, and apparently in Japan the female monsters like Mothra do really well at the box office. So that's just a quick look at Mothra. See you soon, guys. Hope you like this review. See you soon, guys. Bye.
We're going to be taking a look at now Gorath from 1962 from Toho Studios in Ishiro Honda, and it was released in America dubbed in 1968, which runs at 78 minutes, but the Japanese version runs at 88 minutes. There's a giant planet heading for Earth, and it's up to the Earth to try and figure out what they're going to do about it. There's some scientists that go up there at first, and what happens to them is they end up sacrificing themselves because they've got all the information they need, and they can transmit it back to Earth to try and save the Earth in the first place. There's some regular Toho faces in this one, and it's up to the Earth to basically try and figure this all out and try to save the Earth at the end of the day. There's some brave performances by the Japanese that sacrifice themselves to scientists, which is quite moving, I thought. And at the end of the film, they end up moving the Earth with a load of rockets to try and move the Earth out of the way of this planet, which is coming into orbit with Earth, which is going to destroy it, basically causing typhoons, earthquakes, all kinds of destruction, which we see in miniatures and everything like that. In the Japanese version, we get to see magma, the giant walrus monster, not shown in the US version. And he appears in the Antarctic, and like I say, he's a giant walrus, and he's got giant piercing teeth, and it's up to the Japanese to try and stop this monster, as also try and stop the planet from being destroyed as well. It's in Toho scope, it's in widescreen, it's by Ishiro Honda. And yeah, just like I said, there's a Japanese version, there's a US version, and Gorath is, if it's gravity pull, it's going to destroy the Earth. Check out Gorath if you can. Would recommend this one. It's another outing which is very dynamic in itself, especially shot in Toho scope and everything. And check out Gorath.
Bye.